Welcome to our special series, 31 Faces of Small Business in Dalby, proudly presented by the Dalby Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
And your local community radio station, 𝒓𝒊𝒏𝒈. Throughout May, we're celebrating the incredible small businesses that make our town unique.
Every day we shine a spotlight on a different entrepreneur whose dedication, innovation and community spirit help shape Dalby's vibrant local community.
From long-standing family businesses
to exciting new ventures, these stories inspire and connect us. Today, we're thrilled to introduce another one of Dalby's outstanding small business champions.
Today we are chatting with Rob from Southside Quality Meats, a local butcher committed to supporting regional farmers and produce. Their beef, lamb, pork is all sourced from within the Western Downs region, helping to strengthen the local economy and reduce food mileage. With experienced butchers, a strong connection to the community, Southside Quality Meats is a great example of how local businesses keep traditional skills and relationships alive. I'm Sarah Heathwood from the Dalby Chamber of Commerce and Industry. My guest today is Rob from Southside Quality Meats. Rob, welcome. It's great to have you here today.
It's great to be here. What a glorious day out there.
It is.
Magic day.
Yeah, it was nippy this morning, but
Too
it's
good
much
to be
better.
in the butcher shop all day, I do.
Definitely.
Even though we love it.
Yeah. So, how did you get started with Southside Quality Meats?
Well, I'm a Brisbane boy. I was born in Brisbane and love the country.
Yeah.
And I moved to Goondiwindi for 10 years and I worked in a butcher shop out there. I did my trade in Brisbane. And then I went back to Brisbane and then a job came up in Dalby for Danny Pobar down the main street when the Golders used to be the Commonwealth Bank. I don't know if you remember that. That was a good time ago.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was happy there working away. And you know, if you're working in the industry and you love it and you want to push forward with it, well, you look for your own business to take on. And Lyndon Pelly used to own Southside Quality Meats and he moved into the supermarket and we took on Southside Quality Meats. So I said to the wife, well, if we're going to give it a crack, let's give it a crack. And, you know, in them days, it was quite cheap to get into business and have a bit of a go for yourself. So that's where we started. And, you know, we love it. And it's good times, good fun.
Yeah.
As its days, you know, as every business does. But at the end of the day, you've got to be enjoying what you're doing. It's very rewarding getting customers come back and tell you how great it was and you're making different things and products and yeah, so it's been good. And staff, you know, like it's helping young kids through the region. I think we've had like 28 apprentices, you know, and clean up kids and watching them grow and they move on to other things, which is great. But you're sort of starting their life off and trying to guide them as best you can, I suppose. Help them out.
And so your background, have you always been in the meat industry?
I definitely have.
Always.
I have always, I wasn't much at school. I was okay, but I'd always be looking out the window, which I am now. It's just my attention span. I'm always sort of here, there and everywhere a little bit. And my mum said, right, you need to, you know, I was having a good school run and she said, right, you need to get out of school, you need to get to work. She lined up an apprenticeship for me or a job to start off with at 𝐁𝐮𝐬𝐢's smallgoods in 𝐒𝐨𝐮𝐭𝐡𝐬𝐿.
Yep.
And they really didn't look after me at all. They were treating you really badly. And then my mother also had takeaway stores and we also had butcher shops in my mother's.
Oh, so it's definitely a family thing.
My uncle's a butcher, my father's a butcher. Like they're all butchers in my family. So I started, you know, then I went to 𝒍𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒈 Meats at Northgate. Started there under 40 blokes. They taught me the ropes pretty much. And then I liked the country. I like going fishing and pig chasing and whatever else I like to do sort of thing. So, you know, Gundy I went and Dalby, here I am. I love Dalby. Dalby's a great little town.
Dalby stuck with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dalby's good.
Yeah, it's a nice little town.
Great people. You know, it's an awesome little town. It's not far from where I want to go and do things, which is good.
Yeah, nice. You obviously work closely with farmers to source meat. Why is that connection with local produce and producers important to your business?
Well, it is very important, you know, like, you know, it's hard to explain. You can go to the sale yards and you can buy cattle from there, or you can buy carton meat, or you can buy body beef out of Brisbane or whatever, but it's not like knowing where your product comes from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yep, definitely.
I like to, I go out to farms, and Ray Weir's a good mate of mine. He's out there poking around his paddocks and looking at the cows and naming them, and he's got all his sheep and stuff, and I love talking to him, and we have a look at his sheep and his cattle, and, you're picking out what you'd like to eat. And I look at him, they're like, oh, I eat that fella. Look at him. He looks good, doesn't he? Like,
yeah.
It's great, but and they're raised the right way. They're not rushed. They're just poking around, having a feed. You're not coming out of big feedlots where they're jammed in and slopping around in mud and crap,
they get to have a real journey in life before
they go into our bellies. Yeah, which is
I like it, and it's cleaner and yeah.
And there's cattle coming out of the sale yards are good as well.
Definitely.
You just need to let them have that time to hang after going through that experience, because that experience is pretty full on.
Yeah.
They're getting off a truck into a yard, they're getting pushed around to paddocks and yards and getting sold, and so that their intense levels are up here. They're like peeking out, going, "What the hell is going on?"
Yeah. Some of them have never probably.
If we get them straight off the farmers, takes out that risk of not being as tender. You know what I mean? Like, they're stressed out, take the stress away. So they jump on a truck, they go for a little drive to McLagan, have a little yarn over there, then I'll go and pick them up.
Nice.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a joyride on a Sunday.
Yeah, something like that. It is a Sunday they go over there.
Oh, look at that. I guessed it.
They do get a feed over there too, so happy days.
Oh, they even get breakfast on the way when they get, or dinner, is it, when they get there? What's a typical day behind the scenes at the shop, from delivery or preparing stuff?
Yes, well, we have it's get in and hook in, you've got to prepare your window for the day. Not only that, we have a little cafe out the back, so we're cutting meats for them, like steak sandwiches and burgers, and getting things ready for them. I don't know, it's pretty full on some days, then you've got your staff to organise and be there, and you're continuous making rissoles and sausages and breaking beef, and and even now I still like to get out and break beef and make sausages. I love making sausages. I love it. I get out there.
Is it like the actual tying, or
I think
is
because
it
nobody annoys me?
Okay.
I just go out there and I make sausages that don't annoy me, sort of thing.
Oh, well, that's good.
But I love making different flavours. You make a flavour, you go, oh, that's going to be tasty. Young Ruben we have working for us at the moment, he made some Bundaberg rum sausages the other day.
Oh.
And they were tasty as, like, it's experimenting with food and seeing what you can make and making yummy things. And you put it on Facebook and people come and try them and they let us know what they think. And, some go, oh, no, I didn't like that sort of thing. Or, then we make something different, that people do like.
Yeah,
it's good times, though. We have a bit of fun. There's 18 people at work, you know what I mean? Like, there's just people. It's a social thing as well. I love to get to work and see everybody and see what they're all up to.
Yeah.
As well as doing your job, sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I always thought of butchery as being, very processed and just very repetitive. But when you say about creating different flavours, within your sausages or whatever, it kind of an art. Really.
Well, it is an art, and it's a bit of a thing for butchers, and people should support, and I'm a small business person, but they should, because we take pride in what we do and we make everything that we make, I suppose. And I suppose if you go to the bigger stores, and don't get me wrong, like I go to the bigger stores too, and, if I happen to go shopping and you're looking through at their selections, it is quite great, isn't it? If you go into the big supermarkets and you walk along and go, oh my God, look at all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if Dalby buys all that stuff, but they must buy it, or I don't know what they do with it all if they don't buy it. But for us, we're smaller. We are smaller, but customers come in and they'll want flank skirts for a different recipe. So we'll make an effort to make, get that product for them, off our beef, and they want beef ribs, they want this rub on it or that rub on it, or, we just take our time to service our customers.
Yeah. Because not everyone wants the same thing.
With the customer,
Yeah.
Where you can go into the supermarkets and you won't see a butcher. You won't see anybody.
No.
But they don't bust any beef or anything in Dalby in supermarkets.
No.
It's all done wherever.
Wherever
Wherever
yeah.
your stuff's coming from. Who knows where your stuff's coming from a supermarket?
And the good thing is, you said you had 18 or so employees or team. I think that's excellent,
Yeah, and you're trying to...
That's a bunch of families.
We used to have a lot more. When we had the few mine camps out in Dalby, Crossroads, Winterboro and K1, K2 and a few others, and they were very big on supporting local businesses, and they were great.
Excellent.
They were really great. Then a few people lost their contracts. Then we initially lost our contract. And nowadays they don't. They're price driven now, the mining camps. I think council try and make them do it, but they don't do anything.
No, it is harder.
You go through all the regulations to keep up with them and do the right thing by them, and then you don't get much out of them these days. But back in the day, they were great for us in the region because they're working on farmers' lands out there, pumping gas and whatever good else they're doing out there.
Yeah.
And then we're buying the lambs and the beef off the farmers and feeding it back to their workers that they have, into the camps, which is a great turnaround for them guys. That's great support for local businesses and the region.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
they sort a lot of their stuff out of Brisbane, which is not real good.
No. We need to get it back out there to them.
Well, you do, yeah. I'm always sending emails going, and they go, oh, yeah, you are on our supplier list. I said, yeah, I know. We used to look after you guys, but, you're price driven now. And a lot of people are price driven.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people, even Dalby people, they might think that butchers are dearer, but we're not,
Not for the quality you get. No.
No.
I definitely don't think so at all. I love buying. Most of our meat comes from butcher shops, so not actually the supermarket.
Yeah,
but
which is
from
nice.
our chicken.
And a lot more farmers doing it themselves too. You see them on Facebook all the time, selling their beef and someone's killing it for them, which is, that's their farmer's prerogative to do that, which is, don't really like it, but, it is what it is. There's not much I can do about it.
And I think sometimes people like the idea of that, but then unless you've had a whole side of beef, you don't get to pick necessarily what you have for dinner each night.
No.
So
you get what's coming out of the freezer,
Yeah, it does change a bit. It might be good to have every now and then, but I think people love that, being able to walk into a butcher shop, pick something up and walk out. Another question, skills of the trade. How has that changed and how do you balance tradition with modern wants of customers?
Well, a cow doesn't change.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I hope not too much.
There's not too much that changes in the basic format of butchering, but then there's the value-adding side of things and the different way you cut things changes. But nothing too out there. It's all relatively easy sort of thing. You just get the job done and someone goes, oh, I've seen this picture on Snapchat or whatever or Reel or whatever of this, can you make this? I said, yeah, we can do that. It's easy, we'll just do it. It's happy days. Show me what you got and I'll get it sorted.
Yeah.
Because you like to, as I say, I'm a people pleaser and you like to, a customer comes in with a problem, well, let's solve it, let's get that for you,
I love that idea. Love that idea.
Most butchers are, you know what I mean? It's not just, I'm not just saying, oh, let's just go to Southside, Colbert's do a great job down the road, Ashton's, in the shopping centre, they all have the same love as what I do because they're all doing the same job as what I am. You know what I mean? If they didn't have the same love, they wouldn't be doing it either.
Correct.
So it's not just supporting Southside or I'm not pushing that at all. Support your local butchers wherever you might be. I love if we go on holidays, and I love taking the van and you're going, I'll stop at each little butcher shop in each town just to check them out. And even if I just buy, there's only two of my wife and I, so even if I just buy one steak and two sausages, I'm still supporting them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's great. And we get a lot of caravanners come out because they stop for a coffee and they come in and they'll get a bit of steak and they're heading out to Condamine or Miles or whatever to check out stuff out there, which is awesome. And a lot of people, they'll come back from Bristol and go, oh, I had that steak. That was amazing. I'm coming back to get some more. Which makes me happy.
Yeah, great stories.
What feeling is that, Like say your husband's welded a bin up or something for some customer and he did a good job. I'm coming back to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Running a small business in a regional community would come with challenges. What's your biggest lesson?
Oh, gee, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot, aren't I?
Oh, it's a bit of a wild question.
It is. We got to make you really
challenges. I don't know. Look, life is a challenge. Every day is a bit of a challenge. It's not so much. You just got to get. I don't know if you got the good mind frame and you're cruising what you're doing. Well, everything's okay. Move forward. Oh well, fix it.
So
a challenge comes up. Well, you just deal with it. I don't. Nothing gets me down to go. Oh, I'm out. I've had enough. We'll just sort it. It'll be okay.
I like it. I like it.
Forward, just move forward.
Yeah. You don't sweat the small stuff.
No, don't sweat the small stuff.
Just go with
it. I've got staff do some stuff that sweat the small stuff, and then I go, just do it like this. Have a look at this way.
Yeah.
And I go, oh yeah, that's how you do it. So that's right. That's how you do it. It's easy. And I'm not going to show you a way that's silly for you. I want you to do it the best way you can do it and be proactive in your day.
Yeah.
And have a good time doing it,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
You got to enjoy your workplace and people around you and we're all here to work together.
It makes a big
the whole community. We're all working together to make Dalby great and move forward through life and have a good time. And we're only here for a number of years to make the most of what we got.
Definitely.
Upper.
I love it. Rob, I now want to ask you, how important is it to connect with local businesses, customers around Dalby and the Western Downs to you?
Well, it's very important, but it's also so hard. I am a little bit old school, and back in the day, you could put a pamphlet out and you could get a response.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like nowadays, I've got to be tech savvy, which I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you go onto my Facebook, I'm not real good at it. I'll put a picture and go, Yumbo, come and get some. And that's about it. You know what I mean? Like, I've nearly got to employ someone to do that job for me because it's not something that I can do well.
Yeah.
I think everybody has their tasks in life, and that's not my task to do that because business and small business, it's technology bound.
Very much.
You've got to have that in your life.
Yeah.
Doing things, as well as creating a good product, but you've got to have something pushing the product out. So we write signs up and do the best and trying to capture people's eyes as they're driving past.
Yeah.
The social media aspect, people, waiting for the kids at school and scrolling through Facebook or Reels or whatever they do.
Yep.
Is where you need to have your marketing.
Yep, definitely.
I suppose, and it's hard. That literally has been that's been my little hard point since probably for the last 8 to 10 years, I suppose, when that really evolved as being a tool of things, like Reels and what's the other one, TikTok and it's not so much Snapchat, but Facebook. It's a real big tool in the world of exposure,
marketing, and exposure, so definitely.
I've been struggling with that. I'd say.
I think
because we're busy as well. Like we are busy as well. Could be busier, but I'm busy between so much going on that I'd probably let the butcher shop things down a little bit because I'm not pushing as much over that side of town.
Yeah.
But,
that's
probably the only challenge that I have. So if anybody out there would like a job, come and hit me up.
I actually have done a little bit with my own business, and so I've been to quite a few
workshops,
trainings and workshops, and it's ever evolving.
It is
and even sometimes to get the girls and guys to get on board with you with your ideas is very interesting. It's a bit of a fun one, I think. I kind of like it, but definitely my husband would be in the same boat as you and be, no, can someone else do that?
Yeah, I'll make a video or something. I'll be in the video. I'll do whatever you want me to do. But when it comes to making it look pretty and putting a good soundtrack behind it, and I've got a mate, Anthony, and we go pig chasing and stuff. He'll put music in his with pigs and dogs and whatnot, and he does a great job. He's awesome at it. Like he'll have something made, but he's younger. It's I don't know. Yeah, I'm older and my brain doesn't work like his brain. He'll just go on technology, and bang, he's got this little clip coming up. They look great. I just can't make that happen. Yeah, maybe I should go to a workshop and learn something. Maybe I should.
Or like you said,
Or just go
get
fishing.
someone to help you and go fishing instead.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Has there been anyone like a mentor or a fellow butcherer or a long-term customer who has had a big influence on your journey?
Oh, look, there'd be numerous people, to be honest with you, because I do look up to wherever I go working and throughout my life, and I've gone, oh, he did a good job at that. You know, how good was that? So I take snippets out of everybody and where I go and go, oh, look what he just did, you know. Or I'll go to, we go to Meat Fest and you know, Toowoomba Barbecue Fest and watching other people cooking and just everybody in general. I think if you not have your eyes open and looking at what everybody else is doing, you know, because it makes yourself better, or you can learn, because we're always learning.
Yeah.
So it's just one particular person, you know. I was pretty wrapped with the old boy, you know. He had 2 butcher shops going at one stage, and Mum had the takeaway shop, and you know, that was my inspiration as a child, was looking up to the old boy and going, right, if you can do it, I can do it. You know what I mean? Like, I can do this. This is not that hard.
Yeah.
You know. Then I've got mates that are concreters, and I go, oh my God, you know, I go and help them for it. He's come and help me, you know. So I go out there and help him, and that's pretty full on work.
Yeah.
You know? I didn't mind it. I do it. You know, I won't say no to a challenge, but do it on a daily basis might be a different thing.
Yeah. You probably pick one of the hard ones.
Yeah. I might whinge sometimes. You know, been locked in the butcher shop all day, and then I'll go out in the summer in the heat and go, oh my God, I'm going back to work. It's all what we get used to and what we enjoy, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So I'd have to say the old boy
Yeah, that's nice.
was my main inspiration to doing what I'm doing.
That's really good.
And my mum's boot, I suppose. Get out there, boy.
Yeah. Oh, that's always handy.
Yes.
What do you enjoy most about being a part of the Dalby business community?
I think we're all on the same page. You know, like it's I don't know, we're all just trying to make Dalby great, aren't we?
Yeah.
Trying to do the best we can and you know, have good businesses and try to be clean and tidy, and just Dalby's sort of moving forward in that area. So, you know, the council seem to be doing, you know, tidying up stuff around the place, and which is good for Dalby. You know, Dalby's great sort of thing.
It is a good community to be
I don't
in.
know, it's a hard question, I suppose, you know, like, but I know you see people doing things on Facebook, you know, without the region. I know the flower shop girl, she had a big presence there, you know, well, she does for Mother's Day and things like that, and she's great at it too, isn't she? You go down there and get some flowers or whatever, and new stores coming up, and they push on their presence on Facebook. I see it. I'm just not real good at pushing my own stuff on there, but I see it. And they look great. Nick Bacon down the street there, oh my God, how good's ego, you know, like, you know, tech things for your roof of your car to get your signal and stuff. What do you call that? Starlink. And
Yeah.
you know, he went from watches to coffee cups to signs to Starlink.
Yeah.
He's got his finger in everything, hasn't he? He's
and
awesome.
it's he's
Yeah,
doing
and
really
he's
well.
always busy. You know, there's always people going in there, and
Yeah.
he's making videos and doing stuff.
Running a busy shop like yours takes a lot of time and energy. How do you balance work with life outside of the butcher shop?
It's a good question. For a number of years, I have been like working constantly, you know, doing things when you shouldn't be doing things, and just getting things done, you know, throughout the night and whatever. And I think as we move on a little bit, and I'm sort of going, well, you know what, I need to have some downtime.
Yep.
You know, you need to, because when you first start a business, you're all in, you know, you're 100%, you're 150 hours a week, and you're busting it, you know, you're doing stuff. I'm sort of coming to the end of that, you know, for a little while now, and I'm just trying to live a little bit more, and maybe, yes, we might not be as busy because I'm not putting 100% in. So, it's, you know, and staff is, you know, you need more staff if you want to go and do that lifestyle and have the business, but not be working in the business so much, where you need, you know, more staff, and, you know, you need more people, customers, so it gets back to Facebook. You know what I mean? It all it's a bit of a world of revolving around what you can, where you can get people from and put them in the right places and make life great.
Yeah, so correct. Yeah, so right.
But at the moment, I'm just trying. I'm taking a few days here and there and sneaking out to do a radio interviews and stuff.
Nice.
But
nice.
how good's that? Yeah, it's okay. You can make things happen.
Yeah.
Going to see Tommy Little on Saturday night. That's going to be super fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Went and seen Carl Barron last Saturday night in Toowoomba. He was good.
Yeah.
Friday night, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's always a good one.
Yeah, I love the good laughs. Sit back and just let somebody else tell the jokes. How good's that?
Yeah. And a good laugh fixes everything.
No, it does.
A
Yeah,
long
laugh and
week.
cuddle. Can't beat a cuddle.
Nah. Sounds good. Where do you see small business and like the food industry going over the next few years? Do you see it anything changing?
What a great question. Yeah, look, I don't know, to be honest with you, because the more people shop at the big supermarkets, it's getting harder for us. It really is. We love doing what we're doing, but is there another 30 years in it? I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
You just don't know. Because I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not one to have powers to buy something because something's going to grow there soon. I don't know. I don't look forward that much. I know. I hope so. I really do. It really comes back to the customer.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
consumer.
Yeah.
I suppose, but it also on our part is doing the right job, and I believe we're doing the right job. I do.
Yeah.
We try our best to do the best we can do in a small town.
Yeah.
It's just all you can do, and it comes back to advertising. And it's just all advertising.
Yeah, yeah.
Getting the right marketing tools to do the right job. But these supermarkets just keen to, now they're going to be selling alcohol soon. I heard, and friggin', how much do they want?
Yeah.
And whoever made these people allowed to do all this stuff, like the governments or whatever, supermarkets just have so much control.
They have more
And the
control
customer, the
than they
consumer,
should.
he just rolls in there with his trolley and fills it right up. I understand it for them. That's a one-stop shop for them.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
I get it. It's not my thing. I wouldn't, I'd go and get my whatever I've got to get there, but I love the bakers, cream buns. I'll get a bread, I'll get a cream bun. I'm happy days. I'll go to the butchers. We lost our fruit and veggie here, which is a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
But, if we can get something going on again, that'd be great. You go to these stores.
Support
I love
these.
going to the stores.
Yeah.
I very rarely shop in Toowoomba, because I want to support my town. I might pay a little bit more. I don't even care. Whatever it costs. Well, it's not too much, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I go to Hedges. You go to Hedges. I'm playing squash at the moment. I'm pretty excited about that. I've broken 2 rackets.
Oh, wow. You're a bit of
Hedges
a wild.
pretty excited about that. So he's buying new rackets. But, it's just, I'll go and see Brian.
Yeah.
You go and see him because they're the local sports store.
Yeah, but
and they do a great job. You've been in there? How good is that little joint?
I know.
Love it.
And I think we have to get back to realising that true customer service. I feel like we have lost that in some of the big ones, but by coming to you guys or Hedgies or wherever, you get that.
Yeah.
You get it. And, yeah, it is. It's going to be interesting.
It will be interesting. I don't know the answer to that. I'm sorry, I can't tell you. But
No crystal
hopefully
balls.
moving forward, small businesses will prevail and people will do the right thing and the new generation coming through are going to love what they do, in food or clothes or whatever.
Yeah.
And they'll want to open their own stores too, It's making it affordable for them to do that too.
Yeah.
I think is the thing too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And now I've got your final question.
Oh.
What would you say to someone who is starting a business in Dalby? What would one piece of advice be for them?
Be positive. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
People go in half-hearted. Nah, it's not happening. You go in and you give it your all. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's okay. Don't stress. Don't stress on it. It's too easy. Just
really
go in,
like
but
that.
no negative. No, it's going to work. Happy days.
It's going to work.
It's going to work. It will work.
100% full tilt.
You've got to be like that.
Yeah.
I believe. You've got to believe in what you're doing or don't do it.
Yeah.
If you think that there's a negative in what you're going to do, well, don't do it. But if you 90% sure of what you do is going to be good, upper.
Yeah.
Hook in. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hook in. Let's go, guys.
That's great advice.
We can do this.
Great.
You
I love
can.
it.
Anybody can do it. You know, young people these days, they're great at things. Just steer them in the right direction. Go be awesome. Off they go. They'll be awesome at it. Awesome. Love it.
That's great. Well, I'd like to just say thank you so much for joining us here today. It's been really good to talk to you. I love hearing the backstories of businesses. I feel like that is the backbone. Like, people want to know what's behind. We see all the advertising people push forward, but what's behind, I think.
Southside Quality Meats.
Yeah, loving it.
Butcher's Pantry.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah. So I'd just like to say all the best to you going forward.
Nice, thank you. All the best to you too. It's been great.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for 31 Faces of Small Business in Dalby, proudly brought to you by the Dalby Chamber of Commerce and Industry.